You know that rush when you first picked up the Nikon Z8? It packed the raw power of the Z9 into a body that actually fit in your camera bag without a fight. That stacked 45.7 megapixel sensor, humming along at 20 frames per second in raw bursts. Autofocus that locked on like it read your mind, and 8K video that let you dream big. It was a pro-grade beast you could sling over your shoulder for a dawn hike or a midnight city shoot, feeling unstoppable. But here's the thing. The camera world doesn't pause for breath. Canon's R5 Mark II is cranking up the heat with smarter cooling and video muscle that turns heads. Sony's A9 III is whispering about blistering speed, and that game-changing global shutter for silent, seamless capture, and Panasonic still stealing hearts from creators with unbeatable video bang for the buck and rock-solid stabilization. In this whirlwind, whispers of a Z8 successor, let's call it the Z8 II or maybe the Z8 Supercharged, aren't just gossip. They're a flare in the night sky, hinting at what Nikon believes hybrid shooters crave next. What do you think? Ready for Nikon to level up again, or holding tight to your Z8? Drop a comment below and let me know. This deep dive peels back the layers on those buzzing rumors, exploring why a follow-up this quick feels less like a sprint and more like a smart evolution. We'll chase down the spotlight-stealing video upgrades everyone's buzzing about, unpack the still's firepower and autofocus wizardry on the horizon, and get hands-on with design tweaks that make all-day shoots feel effortless. We'll sift through the sensor chatter and cooling conundrums, ground ourselves in realistic timelines and price tags, and wrap it up by sizing up who stands to gain the most if these bold visions touch down, and what shakes out if they fizzle. Let's kick off a video where the Z8 already shines at 8K 30p, but pros are hungry for that extra breathing room. The kind that lets you crop tight in post, smooth out shaky footage, and still punch out razor-sharp 4K deliverables. The rumor mill's lighting up with talk of 8K at 60 frames per second, dialed in for rock-steady, long-haul recording that doesn't flinch. Imagine that. A pint-sized powerhouse handling workflows that once chained you to hulking cinema rigs or external recorders, freeing you to chase the light instead of babysitting heat warnings. It's bigger than pixels, though. It's about keeping cool under pressure. Picture a compact body that sustains 8K 60p without breaking a sweat, stepping up as your trusted A camera on indie sets or a nimble B cam shadowing the action on bigger productions. Toss an oversampled 4K at 120p and slow motion magic gets a crisp edge, ditching that blurry haze that plagues high-frame dreams. Whether you're freezing a soaring eagle's wing beat, a soccer player's lightning pivot, or a rain-slick street glide, your edits pop with life, pulling viewers deeper into the tale you're telling. And codecs? Oh, Nikon's scoop up of red flipped the script on what we expect from internal recording. Creators are craving that 12-bit goodness that grades like silk, no external black boxes required. It means less fumbling with cables and mounts, more moments captured in the flow. If the Z8 II bridges at red-level color science right to the sensor, you're stripping away the drag. Lighter kits that dart through crowds, setups that snap together in seconds, landing you gigs where agility wins. Shipping those Pro Tools baked in? It could rewrite the playbook on squeezing blockbuster output from a body you can actually carry. Still shooters, don't scroll past. This is your cue to lean in. The buzz is all about cranking raw bursts to 30 frames per second, with full autofocus and auto exposure riding shotgun, turning fleeting chaos into a highlight reel you control. Birds exploding from the underbrush, athletes blurring across the frame, that split-second summit glow. It's all yours, no second guessing. Layer on pre-burst, and you're snagging frames before your shutter finger even commits, rescuing those what-if instants that vanish in a blink. Keeper rates climb, heartbreak dips, and suddenly, every outing feels like a victory lap. Autofocus gets a glow-up too, building on the Z8's solid foundation with AI-fueled smarts for sharper subject recognition, and 3D tracking that laughs off backlit chaos or tangled crowds. It's the quiet revolution. Every lens in your kit suddenly performs like it leveled up, no swaps or tweaks needed, just pure, intuitive lock-on that lets you stay lost in the hunt. Those handling whispers might not scream from the rooftops, but they whisper sweet nothings to your weary hands after a 12-hour trek. A sculpted, deeper grip cradles telephoto tanks like old friends, a sun-piercing brighter LCD banishes glare for spot-on framing, and a 5.76 million EVF wraps your eye in velvet precision, easing fatigue on marathon vigils. Beefed up weather sealing. Think IP52 toughness. Turns drizzle or dust devils into non-events, while carbon fiber whispers and a few grams shaved off make mile 10 feel like mile 1. They're the unsung heroes, the tweaks that layer into a camera that doesn't just endure, it empowers. Sensor scuttlebutt and cooling debates always stir the pot. Some whisper of a megapixel moonshot, but the wiser bet lands on honing that 45.7 MP stacked heart for silkier noise control and blistering readout speeds, safeguarding the dynamic punch and minimal rolling shutter that made the Z8 a darling. No need for fireworks when refinement lights the path. Cooling's the ray all chase. Not wild vapor chamber fantasies, but grounded thermal wizardry that stretches your 8K 60p sessions without the countdown clock. In a body that stays sleek, that's the quiet thunder, unleashing creators from thermal handcuffs, letting the story breathe without interruption. Timelines? They're the eternal tease, but a window from late 2025 into early 2026 slots neatly into Nikon's rhythm, echoing the Z9's cadence. Price murmurs hover around $4,500, slotting it as the sweet spot bridge above the Z8 and shy of Z9 territory. Fair game if the stars align, but hard sell if the wish list gets trimmed. So, who toasts to this if it delivers? Pros lead the charge. Sports chasers, wildlife whispers, event wranglers craving that velocity, tenacious tracking and bulletproof uptime. 30 frames per second raw with pre-burst speaks their dialect fluently. Filmmakers trail close, lured by boundless 8K 60p, velvet 4K 120 slow-mo, and in-body codecs that pack cinema punch without the baggage, turning solo adventures into festival contenders. But hybrids? They're the soul of it. Those weekend warriors blending stills and clips, craving one rig that doesn't play favorites. Sharper thermals, savvier AF, pristine high-frame video. It hands back hours, rebuilds faith, clears a path to pure storytelling. No detours. The flip side's a real test. Nikon can't just chase headlines. Upgrades must land like earned chapters, not footnotes. Frame the Z8 II as the wise evolution, honoring early adopters' leap of faith. Not a hasty sequel that stings. Clear comms and steady execution that cements the faithful while reeling in fence-sitters eyeing a stills titan that moonlights as a video virtuoso. My take, straight from the heart, nail the holy trinity. Flawless 8K 60p, lush oversampled 4K 120, 30 frames per second raw with that anticipates your every move, and this becomes a hybrid benchmark, shrinking the Z9's shadow without stealing its throne. Fold in red-bread codecs that sing in the suite, and rigs worldwide slim down for good. Creators liberated, but stall on 8K endurance. Blur the 4K 120 promise, or leave codecs in neutral. It courts the nice polished big price trap, where hype crashes into reality. That chasm? It calls every shot. Zoom out, and the Z8 II isn't just specs. It's Nikon's litmus for a hybrid soul. Can they forge a beast that marries still supremacy with video liberty? No trade-offs? Tuck Pro thermals into a featherweight frame without sapping stamina? Bake elite recording in-house while keeping the interface intuitive, buttons logical, the whole thing feel tough? Those aren't specs. They're the vows creators whisper to their gear. Nail them and trust blooms for years. Z8 owner tuning in? Breathe easy. Your rig's a timeless champ, prime for years of glory. The upgrade is its hardest if long-form epics, slow-mo sorcery, or hybrid marathons define your days. Otherwise, it's still your North Star. Wait for the spec drop, weigh it coolly, and let your workflow lead. Eyeing brands fresh? Here's the anchor. Hunt 3 hallmarks: unwavering 8K 60p runtimes and heat tolerance, detail drenched over sampled 4K 120, and 12-bit codec depth that flexes in post. All in, easiest endorse in the ring. One falters? Pit it against Canon's video stamina and hue mastery, Sony's AI precision and burst blitz, Panasonic's Euro genius and creator tune pipelines. Bottom line, we creators chase the eternal trio. Speed to seize the spark, stability to sustain the grind, story to stir the soul. Speed's your shutter and stickiness. Stability's thermals and juice that last a haul. Story's the color depth, codec canvas. Files that bloom and edit. If Nikon weaved it into one unyielding body, field-proof, drama-free, The Z8 II doesn't just parry rivals. It rewrites the hybrid for shooters who dawn with decisive frames and dusk with dreamy reels, all on one trusted companion. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.